South Korea endorsed Japan's plan to release treated wastewater from the damaged Fukushima nuclear power plant into the Pacific Ocean. This has sparked concerns and protests on our Jeju Island over fears that it will impact the local seafood, tourism, and our ability to enjoy the seaside. Now, around Jeju, banners have been erected in protest of the plan. Have you seen those?
I have seen a
Alexis?
couple banners. Just even your introduction made me think. I don't believe I've seen any protests, nor have I heard of physical protests. I have seen a
Really?
couple banners.
There's been a couple days ago, there was quite a large media presence around a Henyo protest.
Ooh, which location on the island?
Hamdok. I believe it was
Oh,
Hamdok.
okay,
And there was about
that makes sense.
19, 20 Henyo out there. And police have launched an investigation into May, when there was dozens of posters put up by an environmental group depicting President Yoon filling a drinking glass with
Yes.
contaminated water from the plant. Did you see
Yes.
that one?
I
think
did
sent
not.
that to you.
You sent me a picture, and I was like, "Dang!" But
Yeah.
I never once, because you asked me to keep my eye out for them. Never
Mhm.
once saw that actual physical, just your picture. That
I honestly don't understand how they're investigating. Like, I'm not sure what law.
like, is it illegal? You have to get permission to hang a poster, or
That might
maybe,
be it. There was
right?
56 of them. And so it wasn't very many, but it was more than I had thought. I haven't seen any of those in the wild, but I thought it was
Yeah.
interesting that they're
Imagine
investigating.
it would just be like a fine. I mean, what are you
Right.
gonna do? You can't arrest someone for. Well, I mean, I guess you could. Let's
And-
move on from that. Never this.
And another issue is that the fears of the contamination of the sea has caused like a bank run on salt. Right? The price of salt has
Yes.
soared.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah. Last month, police arrested 2 people on Jeju for stealing 700 packs
What?
of 20-kilogram bags of salt worth
What?
more than $21,000. Because that's how, like, the effect.
21,000. What are they selling it on the black market? Do we have a black market?
They
carrot
had
market?
like 2 trucks worth
2
of salt that
trucks
they
of
stole.
salt.
That they
What are they
stole.
gonna do with that? Did they
I
say
don't know.
they didn't?
No,
See,
because it's just a police report on it, right? Because
Oh my God.
this is the kind of fear that this Fukushima nuclear water discharge event is
So
happening.
why we're talking about that, because I mean, there's so much to talk about, but let's just,
Yeah.
for the audience, let's explain why people are getting the salt.
Yeah,
Let's just
I'm
make sure
getting into
everybody
that.
knows. Okay,
I'm-
you're about to do that because that's important.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I got it.
So earlier this month, I started a poll. As you know, as some people of our listeners may know, I started a poll on our Jeju Island social account to see how people felt about the impending discharge of nuclear wastewater from the Fukushima plant into Jeju. And I thought it was interesting that it was almost an even split between people who were very concerned and people who were not concerned at all.
Yeah.
36% about both sides of them, right?
Yeah.
On either side of that debate there of 66 votes. So, and
Yeah.
I wanted to know, you didn't vote.
I didn't vote because I kept looking at it, and then I was like, because I'm actually, and I think I think there should have been a half and half button, because I'm half concerned and half not concerned, and I feel like I've been reading quite a bit on it, quite a bit about it, and reading people's opinions, and it's been talked about on Reddit quite a bit. And there's times when I'm like, definitely not an issue. And then there's times I'm like, yeah, it really is an issue. And who are we to really, okay, this is going to sound wild, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But then I'm like, who are we to trust our governments? And what
So interesting.
isn't there more at stake than just saying, yeah, the water's fine?
Right. I find this debate interesting as a reporter because I cover this stuff. I get the information. I present it to people. And I like to see how people react to this, especially because it's a nuclear issue. Nuclear issue is so divisive.
It's important. Yes.
Right. It's crucially important and very, very complicated.
Yes.
So what's happening?
Complication makes me want to say half and half, but okay, keep going.
Yeah. So what's happening is that on March 11th, back in 2011, magnitude 9.0 earthquake triggered a tsunami that destroyed the nuclear plant in Fukushima. Right, this caused the 3 reactors there to melt. Now, the issue is not to do with anything that really happened at that very moment.
Right.
Right. So what is happening is because everything is still on the site, they haven't been able to decommission everything properly. Groundwater and rainwater comes into contact with the site.
Right.
Yeah, and is leaking into the basement. And that rainwater they are collecting and putting into tanks that are sitting on the shore, essentially. Just they're building them up. And Japan has been years contemplating what can we do with these
big
barrels
tanks
of water.
Yeah.
Huge. There's 1,000 of them.
Huge, yeah.
1.3 million tons of water, of radioactive water.
Right.
And so they had to come up with a plan to get rid of them. And the plan that they have chose, which was recently endorsed by South Korea, was to treat it. Has been treated already. So the only radioactive isotope left is one called tritium. I don't know. I can't. My mouth sucks. So that's
could
that's
be
what I'm
that. Or it could be
assuming
something else. But we get
and that's the only radioactive isotope that will be present in the water. And they plan to discharge it after diluting it into the ocean.
Right. So to just go through the steps again, it's already been treated. We've done that. They're going to add extra water to it, the clean version of water, so that it's not just like this massive load of contaminated water. And then they're going to release it.
Right. And this water is still accumulating every day. That's another thing to...
Right.
Because the site hasn't been fully decommissioned. They need to get rid of it. And one of the reasons why they need to get rid of it is so people can move back into the site. People can go, these are people who haven't been in their homes in their areas for a very long time.
Right.
And
it's wild.
Yeah. Japan says to keep the tubs, they're not tubs, they're tanks. To keep the tanks, it's a national security risk. It's a health risk because of leakage and all that kind of stuff. And so they have to do something with it. And so they're planning to release it into the water over time, gradually.
Yeah, and not a massive dump. That's important.
Yeah. And it'll get to Jeju. First one and
currents,
evidence
batch of currents.
Yeah, we'll bring it to Jeju in 4 to 5 years.
Right.
And people are really concerned about it. Now,
and it's going to, and if I'm not mistaken, let's just clarify, it is for South Korea, it is going to hit Jeju first. That's what they're predicting with the currents. Yeah, I want to be clear about that. Hence, especially all the protests or the thoughts about this here on Jeju versus other parts of the country.
Yeah. And people are very passionate about this more people who are against it are quite very, very passionate. We saw some of the reactions online. I don't want to mention anybody by name.
No, for sure not.
Permission to talk about their quotes specifically, but people were people who are concerned are very concerned about
very
this.
Concerned,
and it's I get it. I get the concern because it's who has time to learn about all this nuclear science and stuff about radiation, and there's so much fear about.
And it's like one of those things. What do we really know? You could say. I think that's part of my thing as well. Is we can say, and the WHO, the WHO organization, they can say what they can say, but do we really know? No, we don't. So I don't know.
But would you ever really know unless you became a nuclear scientist? Unless you became somebody who studied radiation?
I think that's where, people are saying, well, then this is when we just have to trust. But who are we? That's where I'm concerned. Who are we trusting? Are we trusting someone that's been paid? Are we trusting? I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it's this is this is kind of well, anyways, it's a big deal. Also, one thing, and I just want to backtrack before I lose this thought. One thing that I've wondered, and I haven't read about this, is I don't understand if they think everything's okay, why haven't do they need to get rid of the barrels to open things up? Because to me, it seems strange if you want to prove that things are getting back to normal there and start showing the world that things are normal. Why wouldn't you open that area up before releasing the water? Do you know?
Because they're still decommissioning the site.
So then why wouldn't you hold on to the water before they finish? That's what I'm trying to say. Why wouldn't it be?
They have to get rid of the water so they can, because it's the space, right? Like they're running out of physical place to put the water. The capacity is to be full at max level this year. And so you're saying, why don't they just let people come to the site? Because I guess I don't fully understand. People have been there. People have inspected it. People have gone there.
But to me, it just seems like, why isn't this happening simultaneously? Does the water have to be gone first before something else can happen to fix it?
Oh, they are decommissioning it. It's in the process. It's happening as this is going on.
Right,
but to complete the process,
that's
one
what
of
I'm
the
wondering.
things that have to do is get rid of this water. Right?
That's what I was wondering. Okay.
This water's been sitting there, some of them for 10 years.
Right. That's
so
a long
tanks
time.
Have a threat of leaking.
Right.
And that is, which sounds kind of funny because you're like, well, we're just going to throw it in the freaking ocean anyway.
Put it in the ocean anyway. So
but it hasn't been diluted yet.
Right. Okay.
And you want to do it something in your control.
Yeah. You want to be able to add that extra. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Okay. So that's good. Thanks for answering that. Cause that's what I've been wondering. Cause if you wanted to make it look like a better display, a better show of trust for Japan, then that's what I was thinking. I was like, why we should just be doing this as one, but that makes sense step by step. But yeah.
Right. Like, so for instance, I think the disinformation around this site and around nuclear power is, I mean, I think everybody is kind of tainted by it, right? Like how many people died from radiation from this incident?
Oh,
do you know?
You got one of your factoids? No, I don't. Do you know?
Take a guess. Like how many? Like so like 20,000 people were killed. 20,000 people were killed. It unfortunately died because of this tragedy. What percentage of those were from radiation?
Well, I would imagine the workers, right?
Okay.
Well, that's just no. I'm going to sound stupid. I have no idea. What is it?
0.
Oh shit! Really?
I saw. Yeah.
Not the workers.
Like, no one there. I saw some places that there was one confirmed case of somebody having lung cancer who died, who was connected to the site. But Grossi, the guy from the United Nations nuclear watchdog, he contends that not a single person died from nuclear radiation from this incident, which I think is wild. I think a lot of people assume.
Oh yeah, a lot of people. I'm glad I didn't say something because I would definitely, if I had said something, I was going to say in the hundreds for sure.
I'm assuming that's, but that's probably what a lot of people think, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's
so this is why people don't want, because there's just so much information that either we don't know or, we're just not, something, and people don't, I don't know. Yeah.
It's so the plan has, there's another misconception too, when it comes to Grossi and the IAEA, which is the UN watchdog, which is the International Atomic Energy Agency. They came out with a report recently, which is what kind of supported or convinced South Korea to endorse the plan, which said that it meets guidelines for safety guidelines.
Right.
And in the report, it says the IAEA neither endorses nor, what's the other opposite word of endorsing?
Or condemns.
Well,
or condones or. Dang,
why can't we? Yeah, I can't. It's because it's late and I'm tired. I'm an old man.
Everybody knows what we're trying to say. So they're not making an opinion.
And that's what the opposition, the South Korean opposition, is jumping on. But that's what they don't make they don't give opinions.
They just give their data.
Yeah, if it qualify, because these are national countries' issues, and you don't want to be interfering in other.
You can only say.
And the other wild thing that I found in the research of this that I don't understand that people don't talk about is this actually happens all the time. countries release tritium water into the ocean from their plants all the time.
Yeah.
Not like maybe not every day, but frequently enough.
But not this level of this amount.
The amount of tritium that they're probably when it's that size, when it's that much they're dealing with, I don't think they're doing that all at once, right? Or they have that much to deal with. But the concentration that other countries like South Korea have, and England and other countries that have dropped into the ocean have been much greater concentrations of tritium, like 450 times greater concentrations of this chemical. And I've never heard that before. No one talks about that.
Nobody talks about that. But that's important too, because that will sway people's opinion. Like if it's already been not that it makes it right, but if it's already been happening and we haven't seen any whales with 3 fins and things like that, I don't know, then
maybe this explains why those orcas are attacking everybody nowadays.
That's a whole nother subject that I'm fascinated with, by the way. Yeah.
But somebody did mention that maybe this is precedent setting. That is a concern. Precedent setting,
what we will allow for our oceans. Agreed. But I mean, let's just take. I agree. I do agree that is precedent setting. But let's look at what we've already allowed in our oceans, anyways. Our oceans, it's a complete shit show. You can just look at Bali having to shut down because of the amount of plastic. Surfers couldn't even surf because their leashes were dragging up plastic with them. I mean, so we're already. Is it a precedent? Yes, but. I mean, I don't know. I take a negative. I'm sort of like a doomsday on this. We're already, screwed.
Considering
we're not doing what we should be doing anyway. So I don't know. You know what I think about though, because we have so much, and we need to talk about the impact on Jeju specifically. But one thing, I don't know. Do you ever remember watching the Aaron Brockovich movie?
Oh God, long time ago. Yeah.
Right. That's something that I think about. It has nothing, there's not a correlation. But that's just something that I think about all the time when I think about this subject, like the children and the lawsuits and the people. And I'm always, that's in the back of my head, the Aaron Brockovich movie. Anyway, it's just a random thought.
There's that issue about experts, as you said, like who do we trust? Why do we trust these people?
Because those experts in that movie were saying, and then only come find out they're only supporting their own interests, and that's what of course, Japan is supporting their own interest, and you got to wonder where everyone's coming from and why they're saying they support that sort of thing.
The context of this isn't great either, right? Because there's the anti-Japanese sentiment in South Korea.
Yes, exactly.
Too, right? I know people who are just against it because it's a Japanese.
Just because it's Japan, yeah.
Yeah, and people are upset with the Yoon administration because of its growing relationship with Japan. This is like the high watermark it has in like a long time. And
that's another subject. It seems like a good thing going on with that, but that is a whole nother subject.
I do support that too. And then China's against this whole plan,
right?
Which is
interesting. That's interesting though. Why?
Yeah.
Why are they against this plan?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons is to sow discord.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's always gonna, there's purpose, there's reasons. In my opinion, I am not one that blindly trusts the government. I do trust scientists, but I'm not one to even my own government. Certainly, don't trust them to do what's best at all times.
And I think that the relationship between the tribe relationship between Japan, Korea, and America is probably more important to those countries right now than dealing with this. Like nuclear, I was going to say smaller issue, but I actually don't know how big it is to them.
Right.
But I think that this issue, the geopolitical issue, kind of trumps that right now.
Agreed.
For those countries.
Agreed.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but back to Jeju, which is why people listen to us.
Right. So specifically Jeju.
Right. So people are concerned about, and it's a very interesting issue because whether or not it has any actual effects on health and water, it will potentially affect tourism and fishing. It's one of our big industries. We have 9,000 people in the fishing industry, more than 9,000 people in the fishing industry, and it produces like, where's my numbers? I have numbers for all these things.
Where are your numbers at?
$1.2 billion a year for your Jeju. So if you want to, like,
I think it's safe to say, no matter what, this will impact tourism. I mean, I think it's very safe to say, no matter what, it will impact, be it a huge amount or a little amount, it will have an impact on Jeju when in 4 years.
Do you have a theory about which ones, who it will impact the most? Domestic, international, what countries? Like, have you thought about that?
No, I haven't thought about that because mainly I think about Jeju in general and the restaurants, the seafood, specifically here, the Henya restaurants, that sort of thing. So for local impact, I think it will, no matter what, it will affect us.
Yeah, I do think that like, are the surf industries too might be impacted. I do foresee something. I wonder, but then again, also that could be subsidized by Japanese tourists coming in, you know, like in their place, right? Like there's an issue right now in Fukushima where people don't want to take the fish from there. They don't want to, right? But I'm assuming Japanese people take that fish because I assume, I actually don't know, but you would think the same thing might happen here as well, right?
Yeah.
It's
such a big topic and there's no way we're going to hit on every single point, but I could see why people on Jeju and people that make their livelihoods. Is that the right? Did I just say that right? We're both. We should record early in the morning. But yeah, I could see why they're protesting and wanting to have their opinions noted. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but yeah, I do think things are going to impact them for sure.
It's not I used to be a reporter in rural Canada, rural Ontario, where one of my beats was nuclear power, and I had to cover a similar project that they were doing out there. It's like almost like the comparison is so close together because what the issue there was, they have nuclear spent nuclear rods, right? Spent nuclear fuel.
ROD, yes, rods.
Yeah. And they have to do something with them. Very cute. Very cute.
So because they can't.
Is that one up for adoption?
Yes, this one's up for adoption. I'm holding a cat. This cat is chewing on my toe while I'm trying to concentrate on you talking about nuclear rods. So for people that are just listening, I have a lot of cats for adoption, and this is the one that was chewing on my toe. Anyways, so keep going. So it is very similar because what did they end up doing?
Well, they had a plan, and the plan is to bury them. It's a very complicated
right. Okay, now I kind of remember this.
Very deep under the ground.
Deep, right.
They had a bunch of, and it was a huge multi-year campaign, and which was very interestingly done to try to find the spot to do it. And they actually asked communities to kind of like pitch to them why they like to prove to them that they wanted it, because they only wanted to be in places that they wanted to be. But again, people have this huge idea about the size of it and the amount of rods that like all of Canada had used could fill. And this is a very Canadianism, a very this is a great Canadian
hockey rink.
6 hockey rinks of nuclear rod is what we had spent nuclear fuel.
So the rods were 6 hockey rinks full.
Yeah, and I got to be close to them and see them in the containers.
Interesting.
But they had to do something with them. You can't just leave them there.
Yeah. So what happened?
I left before the plan finished, but the plan was to bury them. That was the best solution.
Was there a winning town?
I believe
a winning area.
I believe it was going to be the town that I was in, because there was the nuclear plant.
That's where it was.
There,
okay,
right.
Interesting.
But people were against it, and you need to have another option, right? Like this already exists. We have to do something with it. There's not a preferred
we don't have a choice
solution. Yeah,
right.
And
something has to happen. So it's like the least painful out of all the options. You just got to choose. Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is what we're getting. We're not.
This is what we're. Yep. I mean, how? Yeah.
We're looking at climate change, right? We don't talk about ending or fixing climate change. We talk about living and dealing with climate change.
Exactly. So now, exactly. I do think that's a point that a lot of people aren't really thinking about, is that there is no choice. If you say no, don't release it, then what can you present as the second option? And you don't hear a lot of people talking about, well, let's not do this, but what about this? Because we don't know. So, but it is a lot of like, okay, I say no to this, but I have no other solution to offer.
They had 5. This was the number one solution of 5
yes, but I'm saying
options.
people arguing and debating about it don't know the other 4, haven't, or not necessarily talking about the other 4. So it's just this solution that they've decided, yay or nay,
Because we got lives and work and other things to do. We don't have time to sit around
to debate nuclear physics
and learn about and try to come up with creative solutions to dealing with radioactive water that's pooling on the side of Fukushima. Like and the options, like if I looked at them and because I had written about this before. The plan was actually agreed to originally in 2021. And the 5 options was like geosphere injection, hydrogen release, underground burial, vapor release. Like, I don't know what these, you have to start digging into them to fully understand what they are.
Yeah.
They don't have standards. There's like no
way to test and to know. Yeah.
The releasing into the ocean has an understanding of, okay, this is what safe levels of this is,
and easily testable, easily testable, where we don't know, vaporizing, sending into vapors, are we prepared to be able to test, so sorry, Darryl, because I am tired suddenly. Did I send you off track? Did you explain what the salt is for?
The salt? No, I never did. You want to know what the salt is about?
Well, I want the listeners, because suddenly we took a turn, and then in my head I'm like, we never bothered explaining what the salt is for, and it's really interesting. Go ahead, so tell everybody.
Well, it's because the salt is made from the sea,
right?
And people are worried that if this becomes contaminated into the ocean, then the salts that they get from the sea will also be contaminated.
Yep, and no one will have salt ever again.
It's crazy. I mean, it's.
No, it is really, really interesting about especially how much salt has increased. And what article did I read that someone was trying to, oh gosh. So I really need to start saving things, but who knows? I never know what we're going to talk about. But someone was talking about the cost of salt. And then another thing was talking about how there was no salt on the shelves. Like they were just bought up. I'm so fascinated with what these people that stole the salt. First of all, how did they steal it? Second of all,
2 trucks.
I think they were going to sell on the black market. It's fascinating.
Like cacao? Yeah, or carrot?
I don't know, or sell it overseas.
Facebook?
I mean, how drunk did they have to be like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make some money. Salt. We're going to make some money. We're going to steal some salt.
That should be a comedy film. Somebody needs to write that about these 2 guys planning a heist, a salt heist.
A salt heist. And then getting caught. Of course.
Because you can't go anywhere.
Because you can't go anywhere with 2 trucks of freaking salt.
The person who pulls you over is your old high school friend or something.
Yeah, you're like, I'm sorry, officer, I don't know what that is. I don't know. It just appeared.
It's wild.
Excuse me, I'm going to cough.
Sure. And one of the options on the Jeju Island social post I made was that people could select concerning their worry about this issue was, are you just tired? Because can I tell you?
Did anyone check that one?
I think 4 or 5 people. I'm tired. I'm tired of worrying about everything all the time.
This. Yeah.
Not just
I'm tired. 7% said I'm tired of being worried about everything. Yeah.
Everything now is just. I kind of want a holiday from
just
all
thinking
the travesties that we've created,
because it's nonstop. And then I mean, this is kind of current news, but it's nonstop what we've done to impact our earth that comes back to impact us. I mean, look at the flooding in Seoul. What a horribly tragic event. However, who freaking has caused this? Us.
Look at
us
the flooding in the States, right?
In the States and India that got washed.
India.
I mean, how many people got washed away by the mudslides? Whose fault is this? Our fault, you know? So it's just let's chalk one more thing up to just our lack of concern about the earth that we live on, you know?
And so I get people's just anger about this without actually really understanding or even caring so much about the issue. They're just
sick of it. Yep.
Like, no, don't. I was going to curse. We don't do that
I've
here.
been trying not to. I've had to stop myself a couple times.
Like, I just stop. Can we
take
not?
a breather? Well, I mean, and then like to just throw back to further to Jeju stuff. It's not as if Jeju hasn't had its own issues. I mean, look at the sewage. What year was that, Darryl? The sewage thing in Dodu? For you, be pre-corona, right?
Yeah.
Or was that during corona?
Well, this is all happening now too, like with the droughts that we had before, and the landfill issue, and the airport, and the naval base,
Jeju is nonstop the people of Jeju are nonstop trying to save their islands. Do you know what I mean? It's one issue, like you just listed them all off: the naval base, the airport, the road, the actual taking down of the forest so we can make a bigger road,
the development,
the developments, the sewage waste that wash into Iho and Dodu. Jeju specifically has not had a break from just man-made shit. Or had, man-made stuff that has impacted. And poor Jeju is just tired. They're just tired. How much can you go protest all the time and then just get run over by the government anyways? You know? They're out there. We don't want this road. We don't want this road. Well, there's a road. We don't want this airport. Well, too bad. We don't want this naval base. I mean, how huge that protest was worldwide. Worldwide. Now we have a naval base. So, I mean, for the Jeju people alone, it's just like, what more can they give? You know, what more can they do?
Yeah. They got ran over, right, with the naval base.
Like
whether or not you support it or not, the way it was handled. Terrible.
Horribly handled. Yeah.
So why do you expect them to trust another government?
That's what I'm saying. This my lack of trust for the government isn't a conspiracy theory as much as it is, again, whose best interests are they protecting? And certainly when we're looking here at Jeju, certainly isn't the people of Jeju time and time again, you know? So I don't know. I just don't have a lot of trust in it. When it comes out and I see people swimming and, get whatever president is at that time, put them down, have them swimming for multiple hours and have some photo shoots. And I want to see them drinking the water. I want to see them taking the water in their mouth and spitting it out in the ocean, all that. And then I'll feel okay.
Yeah. I mean, I trust it. Sure. Until I don't. Right?
Can I be honest with you? This is going to sound horrible.
Yeah, just
I don't think I imagine myself here in 4 to 5 years. So I don't want to be here anymore. But
you'll still be living. You'll still be with us.
Living. Well, who knows? But I don't imagine being in Jeju. So part of my taking a back seat is will it actually impact me? Do I have a right to have a big debate about this when I might not even be here to have the impact, so that's part of my thing is is it my place to say or not say something?
That's always an issue with even with the naval base, right? How much
exactly.
But then a lot of the protesters are from the mainland too.
Yeah. So well, that was a little bit different, but everything. Yeah. So
I'm just saying you still have a right to
say something.
Be concerned is what I'm more supporting.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So there's a lot there.
Please let us know. Email us, Facebook, Instagram. Let us know what all you think about this. I would like more conversation that is kind about it, right? Because I see that people who
just feel
have the
so
science
strongly
on their side, like me even, or other reporters, we're just kind of this is what it is, and kind of writing off the concerns of other people. And that is not productive at all. Right? Because like you said, it's not just this. It's not just this Fukushima thing. If you're a Jeju resident, it's the airport, naval base, construction,
the road, the forest, the deforestation. Yeah. I mean, and really, and Dream Towers. Let's just add that to the list where everybody said no, 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 no. And they went ahead and did it anyways. No, they didn't want a casino. They went ahead and did it anyways, so it is a lot. And if we actually put it down on paper and just put a timeline, it is one thing after another. Jeju people haven't even had let's say, well, let's just get a good 2 years of worry-free living here on Jeju. They haven't even had 2 years in 10 years. It's been nonstop, 10 years of nonstop worried about their island and, living here and prospering here, It's rough. Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah. Well, let us all know what you guys think on here.
We certainly didn't solve the subject tonight, but hopefully you got a little bit of, hopefully our listeners got a little bit of information.
Hopefully it was helpful to, hopefully, because I don't think a lot of people understand what the water was, for one.
Right. And well, you had lots of interest, all those little things about the other governments already releasing all I can think about is tryptophan from the turkey. Tryptophan, right? It's just tryptophan. That's all I can. My brain is so fried. I'm like, tryptophan, but that's what makes you sleepy from turkey.
That would be so funny if everybody was just worried about this tryptophan getting into the water because everybody feels sleepy and full.
Everybody will just be real chill on Jeju, just walking around real chill and sleepy all the time.
With the bottom button of their pants off, just lying. Yeah. Anyways, on that note, I think that's been a special episode. Our Fukushima special
information. Fukushima information.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.